Welcome in to Follow Everton. This is Chad, coming to you from the United States. We have a little bit of a teaser show for you as our Toffees travel down to Selhurst Park to take on Crystal Palace. Ryan is going to be joining me very shortly. I see many of you are jumping on right now, 27, 28. Thank you for joining me as we get ready for kickoff between Everton and Crystal Palace. It looks like the team is out. We can get right into it. Let me click over and make sure I'm able to see all of your comments. It is a wonderful day for football. So here we go. Hey, Emma, good to see you. Hope everyone is looking forward to the match today. All right. Well, I have someone on the stream. We got 46 of you now. If some of you can type in the lineup today, I'll share it there over on the graphics underneath so we can all kind of look at that together. But it looks like we're going to be starting off with Pickford in goal. Is there no sound? Can anyone hear me? Let me. Oh, Alcaraz starts. So maybe it's just Steve. If anybody else can't hear me, you just let me know. We have Pickford starting off. The sound is working. Oh, thank you, Kevin. There we go. Okay, great. Steve, maybe you just need to sort that on your end. But hey, thanks for jumping in. Okay, here we go. Pickford in goal. O'Brien is going to start at right back. So we're going to be unchanged in the back from Liverpool midweek. Tarkowski, Branthwaite, Mikolenko holding down the left. Double pivot of Ghana and Garner as we expected. No changes there. It seems like since Mangala's gone out, that's pretty much how David Moyes is going to want to start off every match. And then the big change today, Alcaraz coming in for Decore. Decore showing a second yellow against Liverpool. But hey, I know David Moyes was disappointed in the second yellow. He said so much in the press conference, but I kind of liked it. I don't like Decore, but I kind of like the second yellow. I mean, talking to the red shite, the way he felt was necessary in that moment, and got a second yellow for it. Okay, so we have Charlie Alcaraz coming in that central attacking midfielder role, flanked out wide, Lindstrom on the right, Harrison on the left, Beto, our boy Beto is going to be manning the front line up top. Our number 9 for today. The bench is what is so interesting. It's dreadful. The the squad is so thin at this point. I mean, what do we even say about this? Let me go over what the bench looks like. Of course, we have the Dyche special, 2 goalkeepers on the bench. Ja Virginia, Esbir Begovic, Michael Keane, Ashley Young, Tim Irabunum. So actual senior players on the bench. That's nice to see. And then we get into the young guys. Martin Sheriff, Roman Dixon, Isaac Heath, Kobe Ebery. I think I'm saying that name right, Kobe Ebery. So very thin, very young on the bench. I don't think David Moyes is one to play the youngsters, but he might be forced to today. So it's going to be interesting. When Ryan's able to jump on, we're going to get his opinion on how Everton line up today. I haven't seen how Palace are lining up, but I would imagine it would be fairly unchanged from the last time out. And listen, Palace are in pretty good form. They're a really solid side. I'm nervous about this one today. This has all the hallmarks of a letdown game. It just does. We're coming off of emotional midweek Merseyside derby, Goodison's final derby. What a moment. I feel bad for anyone that left Goodison early. We'll give Ryan some stick about that when he jumps on. But I mean, just such an incredible moment. We'll probably want to revisit some of Wednesday back. But I feel like this has all the makings of a letdown game. Legs are going to be tired. Emotions are going to be a little raw coming off of Wednesday. Crystal Palace, a solid side, good defensively. We are lacking in the attack. We are, I mean, quite literally throwing out a second string backup attack. Beto is, I mean, not our top number 1. Is he even? Would he start over a healthy Broja? Would have Moyes have tried Trimiti at some point over Beto? You could argue where Beto would be in the pecking order, and then we know that Endai and McNeil are probably our 2 strongest wings. Of course, they both play on the left side, but nevertheless, still our 2 strongest wings. And so we're at Lindstrom and Harrison today, backed up by two young fellows in Kobe Ebery and Isaac Heath. So we'll see. Oh, Richard Masters out. Are we on this? Okay, we could talk about this. You know what? There was some news that came out. Very interesting. Maybe someone else can give me a little bit more information in the comments. It looks like essentially the Premier League came down hard on Everton last season just to make an example of them, which we all knew. But they were essentially using rules that were not fit for purpose and have been thrown out. So I would like our points back, please. I would like our money from last season that we did not earn for finishing 12th. And I would like Richard Masters out. So I'm right with you, Joey 11. Richard Masters out. Get him out. Is the weather bad there? Kevin, what's the weather like? Brass Monkey weather this. I'll have to look it up on my phone. It's bad here for me in the States. Not that anyone cares, but it's bad for me in the States. What else? We got anything good in the comments here? Give me your thoughts on how we stack up today, how we're feeling about Crystal Palace. Am I exaggerating that this feels like which could be a letdown game? Is that an exaggeration? I don't think so. I think we all feel like, Everton are in a seemingly much better place than they were previously. David Moyes has the finger on the pulse of this team, and it feels like he can do no wrong. And the choices he's making and the message he's delivering to that squad. But this feels like, traveling away from Goodison up against a very competent Crystal Palace team. This feels like this could be a long day. Maybe, maybe we'll get lucky and it'll just be, 90 minutes of the ugliest football you've ever seen. And we can somehow pull out maybe a 1-0 or a 2-1. I think that's the plan. That has to be what David Moyes is thinking. You're probably not going to have a lot of the ball. Maybe we could somehow nick a 2-1 or a 1-0, something like that. But we'll see. We'll see. Oh, it's freezing. I hear you, Kevin. It is freezing there. It's it's probably freezing all over the Northern Hemisphere. Everton will win today. I like the optimism. I like it. I don't know. I don't know how that's happening today. I hope you're right, Kevin. I hope you're right. I'm gonna try to stay positive here. I mean, God knows that the good vibes are all over this club right now. I'm feeling really great about David Moyes. You know what makes me? Let me go to the press conference yesterday. First of all, I just want to say that it is such a breath of fresh air to have David Moyes back calling the shots, our gaffer at Everton. Just, he just gets the club in a way that I probably can't even understand, not being on Merseyside, but it seemingly just gets the feel of the club and understands what we've been through over the past several years now. When he says, people are quick to bring down Everton or want to bring Everton back down to earth. And he said, let's just enjoy this a little bit. Let's enjoy the good times and let's not be so quick to be so realistic or pragmatic or just like move on to the next thing. I think we have a tendency in football, in life, in every aspect to just kind of look to the next thing and not enjoy the moment that we're in. And I think we're in a hell of a moment right now. It feels really fun to sit down and watch Everton again, especially when unexpected and exciting things are happening. That the free kick setup, Jared Branthwaite to Beto running through that channel, slotting it home. That is creativity that we did not see under Sean Dyche. It was interesting when they lined up for that and it wasn't Pickford on the ball. I thought to myself, this is odd. Normally in every other circumstance this season, it would have been Pickford taking that kick. You would have, kicked it long, probably far post. You would have hoped that someone would have gotten a header back into the box and then maybe you get lucky and someone slots it home. That was not the approach. Jared Branthwaite came under the ball. Jared Branthwaite is not, I'm certain he can play a long ball. It's not his strong suit. I think Tarkowski is better at doing those long diagonals that Jared Branthwaite has appeared to be so far. Please prove me wrong today, Jared. But Him slotting that pass in to Beto, perfectly placed. Beto does what he does best, which is able to run on to the ball, not even needing a touch, letting it set up right in front of him, and then slotting it home. Really, really great execution of that. So Kevin, I hope you're right today. I hope we have something really tricky up our sleeve with set pieces like we did against the Red Shite. Going back to David Moyes, I just want to say how refreshing it is for us to have someone speaking on behalf of the club that feels as positive about it as it seems like the energy is as all we feel about the club right now. There is an energy building, an enthusiasm building as we move in, as we look forward to moving into Bramley Moordock. We're past the Mashir years. We're going to have money in the off season. God willing, there will be money to spend in the off season. So we have a lot to look forward to. Today should be a fun one. Today should be a fun one. I think we had a prediction here already. I'd be quite satisfied if we drew another game. What about you, Chad? Joey. I'm right with you. I'll take a point. I'll take a point all day. I think we'd be really, really fortunate to get a point out of this one. Like I said, it has all the trappings. I see 150 of you on. If you're just joining us, I was talking about how this has all the trappings of a letdown game, traveling away from Merseyside against a solid Crystal Palace team. Coming down off the emotional high that was Wednesday. So yes, I would be very satisfied if we were able to draw this. But you never know. Fate has other plans sometimes. Maybe we'll see like a 3-0. Would that be amazing if we somehow really put it to Crystal Palace today? We could be on the other side of that. I don't feel like Moyes has this team set up to lose in a big way, though. They're way too prepared, way too engaged. Way too willing. I mean, just far too willing to give everything they have for this team right now. You look at someone like Jesper Lindstrom, and he has been a completely different player than he was under Sean Dyche. I think when Dyche benched him at the beginning of the year, it did spark a fire under him that he knew he had to bring that work rate. I think we're seeing it even more under David Moyes. It's been nice to see how he has instilled confidence in players like Lindstrom. I think he's trying to do the same thing with Harrison. We have seen bright spots from Harrison now after being just poor. Just poor. Jack, you've been bad. Jack, you seem like such a solid guy. Like I want to root for you so badly, but you've been really bad this year. Really, really bad. But hey, your last two outings out have started to inspire some confidence in me, in you, and I hope David Moyes is inspiring that confidence for you to have in yourself and empowering you to be the best version of yourself. The good thing for Jack is that maybe him being out on the left, being a left-footed player, although he has a great weak foot, being a left-footed player, maybe this will open up some opportunities for Jack to kind of express himself a little bit and have some fun out there. Let's see. Everton 2, Palace 1. Kevin, I'll be jumping over the moon if we get that result today. We might get to see some youngsters play for a change. Oh, Cash, you know what? I was kind of, you always want the young guys to play, right? You always want to get a look at the youngsters just to see what you have. Like sometimes even that's one of the benefits of, them getting, some scrap time at the end of an unfortunate loss where you get the young guy to come on. You can see how he's able to kind of carry himself around the grown men and see if he looks like the part, someone that can really contribute. So I'm hoping that we get to see Martin Sheriff. Beto has played nearly every minute. I think maybe every minute since DCL has gone down. So coming off of a midweek game, maybe Beto is not able to go the full 90 today. So we might get to see Martin Sheriff. Interesting that there are two wide players that aren't normally rostered, Isaac Heath and Kobe Ebery. So I'm guessing that is just for insurance in case, let's hope no one else goes down injured today. I would imagine that David Moyes' first wide player off the bench will be Ashley Young. I mean, the ultimate utility player, Ashley Young. I would imagine he will come out at some point, especially if we're trying to hold on to a lead. He can essentially play a very conservative wide role and just be another fullback. So we might see that. out of Ashley Young today. Let's just hope there are no more injuries. Take we could not take another injury to this squad. Then we would be at the point where I think we would just be holding on for dear life and hoping to avoid relegation at that point if we get any more injuries. We see you, Warmy Spoons. Afternoon, folks. A 1-0 win, Beto to score. Chris, that would be amazing. How about the Beto Sans, the rebirth of our guy Beto? There is no one. I love listening to his post-match interviews, any sound bites that we get from him. There's no one I more enjoy hearing from on this team than Beto. He is just seems so good-natured and human and unfiltered, but not in a raw kind of overconfident way, but just in a very honest, kind of humble way. When you hear Beto talk about how much the fans love him, and when he hears his song, there's something just kind of very warming about Beto. You just want to root for a guy like Beto. I don't know how long he's going to be on Merseyside. He very well might find himself back in Italy after this summer, but I'm kind of enjoying the Beto Sans now. I hope we do get another goal from him today. So, Chris, I'm with you on that. Let's get another 1-0. They have to be able to play to his strengths, right? We cannot. I will give credit to Beto against Liverpool. He did a great job holding the ball up. He is not an aerial threat. He's not going to win duels in the way that Dominic Calvert-Lewin does. He's probably not going to be able to hold the ball up in most instances the way that Dominic Calvert-Lewin does. Those are some of Dominic Calvert-Lewin's best attributes. God knows not finishing. But I think he's getting better in those regards. I think David Moyes has told him, if you're able to bring the ball down, get your head up, play it negative initially if you have to, because Everton are not going to have the pace to come on the attack as soon as Beto is holding that up. So he's looking to play it back, find someone in space in the midfield, and then maybe start the attack that way. He's been a revelation. So I'm really happy for Beto and the way he's playing. I hope we get a goal out of him today. 176 of you on. Thank you for joining me. This is Follow Everton. This is your pre-match. We're talking Toffees against Crystal Palace in Selhurst Park. Kickoff is going to be in nearly 45 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, on the time. We're talking about the team that David Moyes rolled out today and how we feel about it, and we're also getting your predictions. Too many bodies missing, Michael. Way too many bodies missing. It all started with Dominic Calvert. Well, I think it started with Broja and then Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Well, no, it started with Dwight. I'm sorry, I'm even forgetting about Dwight. Dwight McNeil with what looks to be a meniscus, a knee injury of some kind. Everton's very vague about this kind of stuff. He's probably a couple weeks away still. And then Broja goes down in the oddest of ways because he kicks the ground and then he's okay after kicking the ground. And then I think he turned his ankle. So we're waiting for Broja to come back from what looked to be a very severe ankle sprain, probably like a grade 3. We get into all this stuff in the States, but like grade 3 ankle sprain. It's going to take weeks upon weeks to get back from that. And for everything to repair in that ankle. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the hamstring. We know that he has hamstring injuries, hamstring issues. That's just going to be something he has to deal with for the rest of his career. Once you start getting those hamstring the issues, then they never really fully go away, no matter how much time you take. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin is going to be out for probably nearly a couple more weeks, and then who knows where Seamus is, Nathan Patterson. The list just goes on and on. Oral Mangala, I thought he was wonderful for us this year. So missing a ton of bodies in a side that was light to begin with. This is why it's so concerning that out of all the teams in the Premier League, we could not be the one to get hit with the injury bug, and we've certainly got it right now. We're hoping we can get some bodies back. Refreshing to have a manager, who looks for the win rather than defend. I cannot agree with you more. He has us playing. I don't know if it's aggressive football, but certainly not timid. I think there are times where Sean Dyche went out hoping for a 0-0, hoping to just pack it in and hope for the best. He did not have faith and belief in these players. And David Moyes has shown that there's quality still in this team. And they've gotten some results, and that's encouraging. Sometimes all you need is just a really great manager that kind of instills belief in you. And I think we're seeing that. And that's across all levels, youth setups, pros, When you have a manager that kind of believes in you and lets you just play your style of football, then I think you play at your best. Night and day different from Dyche. Absolutely. My poor cat doesn't want to go out. It's that cold. It is. I don't even have a cat. It sounds miserable. Sounds miserable. I feel for you. Um, Isaac, Heath isn't a left wing as well. What is Heath? Then help me out. I don't get to see the U21s. So I thought Heath was a wide player. Is he just on the right? Is he more of a midfielder, a central midfielder? Help me out with what Isaac Heath is. I'm still trying to learn all these guys since I don't get to see them all that much, and they're not an EAFC. So when I load that up, I don't get to see them there. If Beto scores, it's not just going to be a fluke run. It's hard work, good willingness, and good tactical and mental management. I think that's right. I think that's how you use Beto. You can't really play it in the air to him at all. He's not gonna. He needs to run into something that's already on the floor and slot it home. He's a really great finisher. He's a much better finisher than Dominic Calvert-Lewin is. Listen, Beto's limited. We know that. But what we're going to get from Beto is a really great work ethic. He's gonna put in the hard yards, as we know with Beto, and great attitude. Probably a great guy in the dressing room, and someone you want to root for. So if you have players that can play to his strength, James Garner seems to be able to do that. Jared Branthwaite seems to be able to do that after both assisting him in recent games. I don't know if Jersagana Gay is the guy that can feed Beto, but it looks like Jack Harrison probably is going to be someone that might be able to set Beto up, maybe Jesper Lindstrom. So there we could see a nice game for Beto today. I'm hoping. Crystal Palace, again, tough, very good center halves. They're not going to be easy. A draw would be sound, but we are bouncing well. So come on, you Blues. Absolutely, Ian. Couldn't agree with you more. I love the feeling around this team right now. It's so fun, and it's just so fun to sit down and be able to turn it on and feel like something positive might happen, rather than feeling the dread of, I hope we can't give up a goal, or if we don't score first, we know what's happens then if we don't score first. It's been a lot of that under Sean Dyche. So glad that time is done. Whatever happens with Beto, I'm glad he got his time to shine. Absolutely. And you know what? It's good for Everton, really, because even if David Moyes says, he's a limited player, Emma, I think you're absolutely right here. What he has done is rebuilt some of that value. I don't know exactly what we pay for him. I heard we haven't even started paying for him yet. But hopefully he has started to rebuild some of that value. So if we do come summer and we look like we need to move on from Beto, we will not lose a lot on that deal. So no, great for Beto. What's the most fun thing about Beto is that he actually wants to be at Everton. He loves being with this club. It's a club that he's rooted for and cheered for, supported for a while now. There are pictures of him wearing the shirt from years and years ago. So yeah, he's definitely a fun one to root for. Kevin, Beto is coming into his own. Good lad. It's so funny how people are different when you just give them some confidence. So what's the starting 11? We can go back over it. We have 195 of you on. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Follow Everton. Ryan is going to be joining us soon. And then, the door is always open to I see you, Ryan. You could just jump on in if you want to. Don't wait for me to bring you on. The door is always open for any other Follow Everton contributors. If you're listening in, jump on in. Tell us what you think of how we're set up today. So I'll go over it really quickly. So we know that we are unchanged in the back. We have Pickford in goal, obviously, but Branthwaite, Tarkowski, Mikolenko, and the big man, Jacob Bryan. Starting and as our back four, and then unchanged in the middle, James Garner, Idrissa Gana Gay holding down that double pivot central midfield. Charlie Alcaraz, excuse me, almost called him Carlos. Charlie Alcaraz is ahead of them in that attacking midfielder Decore spot. We'll see if that turns into more of a double striker role that Abdoulaye Decore sometimes finds himself in. I think we saw a lot of that in the breakdown of the derby, that it really looked like 4-4-2 as Beto and Decore were trying to stop those balls into Gravenberch. So yeah, maybe we'll see some 4-4-2 today. Maybe Alcaraz will be really high, and then of course Lindstrom, Harrison out wide. The bench is really thin today. And Ryan, we got you on. Hey bud.
Sorry about the delay. I haven't got my main setup just because some of the stuff that I use for my home studio and is also a crossover with work equipment, and I couldn't get it all set up
Mm.
just in time. But I hope you can hear me clear enough on this headset.
Yeah, we'll take you whenever we can get you. How you feeling about the setup today? Have you seen it?
I've just listened, just heard you now while I was just setting my headset up. I've just seen the team, Charlie Alcaraz making his first start.
I'm excited. I mean, I think this is what we all want. He seems like an Everton player. He seems like someone who is kind of willing to leave it all out there and give you his all. So yeah, I'm excited to see it. And I appreciate Decore's efforts against Liverpool. He is a limited player, so I'm looking forward to just seeing something different for a change.
I think he brings a level of aggression and determination to this Everton team, Chad. It's exciting to have a player like that. I think we've been lacking kind of your nasty sort of players in there. Of course, Neil Maupay had that, but channeled in the wrong way. Um, so I'm interested to see how he gets on. But I think he's more. I think he is more of an 8. I think he can get involved in the build up and do a lot of things. But so I'm interested to see how he can do in kind of the number 10 role. Will he play very high alongside Beto? Or will he drop off and link play? Ultimately, at the end of the day, Chad, there was a big decision. There was only one decision, wasn't there? Was it Timur Abunam or was it Charlie Alcaraz to start? And the rest of the team kind of picked itself. It's a bit worrying. We've got 9 injuries, and any more injuries, me and you're going to get shipped over on the next.
When you only have 11
not?
healthy, yeah, when you only have 11 healthy players, picking 11, 11 is pretty easy. So the bench today, Ryan, you probably haven't got a chance to see it, but we have 4
No.
under 21s on the bench today. Double goalkeepers, obviously, but 4 under 21s. Roman Dixon, Kobe Ebery, Isaac Heath, and Martin Sheriff, the striker. The
Dixon isn't a
18,
bad
19-year-old
option to
striker.
have. Yeah, I mean the fact that David Moyes said in his press conference in a recent press conference that he thought Michael Keane was a cleaner finisher than Martin Sheriff says to me that Sheriff hasn't got a chance of coming on. And the only real player that I could see out of those 4 making an impact would be Roman Dixon, kind of just driving from the right and trying to deliver some crosses into the box. But listen, someone like Jesper Lindstrom has to step up today and get a goal. They have to start. There's no point being all running and kind of no end product. The chef that prepares his meals well, but when he puts it in the oven, it always comes out burnt. You've got to have
No execution.
you've got to have we've got to do it. And today's plan for me is all about Beto. Can we get Beto in behind? Can we slip him in? The problem is he played on Wednesday. He's not really got the fitness to play 3 games in a week. So it is a bit of a worry. Can Charlie Alcaraz take the game by the scruff of his neck? Can Jack Harrison get his season? We've got 2 wingers playing for us today who've neither scored or assist all season. I mean, come on, someone has got to deliver, but Crystal Palace are not going to be easy. Certainly at 5:30 under the lights away from home.
Yeah. Ryan, have you ever seen two starting wide players more impotent than Lindstrom and Harrison this season? Like they haven't even sniffed a goal, I think, this
No.
season. It's unfortunately really it's a little worrying because I think Beto is not someone who's going to be able to create for himself. So that's why we need I think a superhero like effort from Charlie Alcaraz. He's got to be aggressive and maybe create something for the entire front line. I don't know if he's that kind of player though. We haven't seen him that much, and I don't remember him from his time at Southampton. Do you?
I remember thinking he was a little bit special at Southampton. I'll be honest. He didn't play every game. He was not playing a lot of minutes there, but when he did come on, because he was a young player, there was aggression, there was speed, there was a passing range, there was tenacity, and he chipped in with a few goals. Ndiaye is a huge loss, but what was he bringing to the team? Well, he wasn't getting assists. Ndiaye was carrying us up the pitch. Maybe we'll go a bit more direct and try and avoid the need to carry the ball rather than maybe we'll just hit it long. But what I want to see from Jack Harrison today, I want to see a goal or an assist. I want to see something because he had chances in various home games where it was so easy chances and he spoofed them over the bar or overhit them or hit them straight at the keeper. So he can get in good areas. And I think even against Liverpool, he got himself 1v1 against Conor Bradley and Trent Alexander-Arnold. on a few occasions, but kind of lacked the spirit to. He's meant to be 2-footed, but to me, it's always like he's like a bit of a chipmunk. He's like trying to catch up with his own thing, and it's like, do you know what I mean? He's like his feet are like really quick, but he's actually not going anywhere with it.
Yeah, he gets himself into trouble. I often see that he
Yeah,
finds himself in a little bit of space, and then
Jules.
and then he'll just hold on to it too long, and then before he knows, he's boxed in, and then potentially turn it over. So yeah, I think we need quicker decision making. He just needs to,
Yeah, that's it.
play it early and hope for the best.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's boxed in. He's quite literally boxed in. He's like plumbing in your toilet. He's boxed it in. He can't escape from all the players around him, and he kind of gets suffocated. And he hasn't got the pace to get away, or the strength, or the technique.
Yeah.
But his heart,
Here's
I think, really is in the right place. Well, it would be for £100,000 a week.
here's the question, Ryan. How's that kid?
My baby Poppy, she's fine. She's gone out with her mum, and I have peace and quiet to watch the match. I say peace and quiet, but my dad's downstairs, and that is why I was late onto the stream, because we were trying to put a mirror on the wall and a radiator cover, and despite me saying we had to be ready for 4:30, things got out of hand, and they dragged on for a little too long, and he's hard to pin down. So we had to do it, yeah, the answer to the question, she's fine. She's teething a little bit. A bit like me at full time when Everton go down 2 goals to Crystal Palace today.
Did you get the mirror up?
We did. The radiator cover is in the center of the wall. The mirror's got to be the center of the wall. The problem is the mirror. It's hard to get my head around. It's a long mirror above a radiator cover in a hallway. Very traditional British thing that we do.
Okay.
Radiator cover, and then we have a long mirror on top of it. And the mirror is only 54 centimeters high. And I think it needs to be more like 70, because my missus is 5'2", and at first we put the holes in the wrong place. And I said, Mrs. is going to come in and she's going to go, this mirror's too high. She's going to be like looking up like that. And my dad goes, no, just stand back. Bear in mind the mirror, the hole
such
is
a
like
dad thing to say.
It's not even 2 meters wide. So I said, no, we've got to take the mirror down, drill 2 holes 4 inches lower, brought it down. It still looks too high, but hopefully it'll do. I think sometimes it takes a while to get used to different things. Because the mirror I had before was 80 centimeters tall. I think that's all it is. But there's enough mirrors in this house.
Well, it expands the space. I think they like
the idea
say.
is, the concept is to make the room look bigger, but I think we've made it look smaller by putting a slim, not very tall mirror in.
Yeah. So Rod, it'll be interesting to see how we play. We can't push too hard. Any more injuries would be really bad. So Ryan, I guess this is the question that kind of looms over this match.
I would.
What do you expect? What do you expect? How do you expect David Moyes to approach this? Does he play it conservatively and he knows his squad is knackered coming off of the derby, and we're away from home. We're not going to have the crowd behind us. Is he more pragmatic in an approach? Is he worried about injuries? How do you approach this match? Or do you kind of feel the continuation of the good vibes and want to push for a win?
Can I be honest, Chad? The team that's playing today, Everton's 11, is not far off the strongest starting 11. I think there's only one player for me that I would have in at the strongest. I do believe Charlie Alcaraz is technically a better footballer than Doucouré, more suited to their role. I think he takes the chances Doucouré has been missing all season. The reason you go with Doucouré is if you're playing an Arsenal away or a Liverpool at home or a Man City away, and you need that physique and you need someone to hold the ball up and make it difficult for the opposition, but still carry a threat. But in general, against Crystal Palace, where I think there's going to be a lot of transitions, a lot of opportunities where maybe we need to get a shot off from outside the box, I would have gone with Charlie Alcaraz. I think it was only a matter of time. Not that I don't like Doucouré. I think he's got a great attitude and he clearly loves the club. So the only player for me that would be starting would be Alcaraz. Bloody hell. Would be Ndai. The thing is, because better scoring goals, you can't argue with it. I think, it's the striker scores goals. That's your strongest team. Chad, the problem is fitness. Played 3 games in a week with the same players. Are they cut up to it? I don't think they'll have been training a lot. And hopefully they'll have enough legs in there to get the game. Everton need to try and win this game within 60 minutes and then low block it. I really do believe there has to be some sort of game plan there.
Yeah, I think you're right. The funny thing about Beto is he runs himself ragged every moment he's on the pitch. And you can see like around the 70th minute mark, his energy just starts to drip. It's visual. And that's usually probably a good time to bring him out. I don't know what he's gonna have left in the tank for this one today. So but Moyes is not gonna play the youngsters. He's not going to. You can hear him talk when he talked about the transfer window, when he talks about any incomings. The two things David Moyes wants is senior football at the Premier or Championship level. Period. That's all he seemingly wants. And I think that's why they brought Alcaraz in, is because he did offer that. He wasn't in England, but he did offer that, having played for Southampton. And none of these players outside of Roman Dixon getting a taste against Tottenham have senior football at those two levels. So I can't see David Moyes using anyone today outside of Ashley Young probably coming in out wide, and Tim Irabunum maybe coming in for Ghana Gay if he is flirting with a red card again. But I don't see any of their moves. And then Keane, maybe Keane up top, right?
I may have gone with Tim, I'll be honest, ahead of Ghana. Just at the age of Ghana, I don't think he's played bad at all. I think he's been arguably our best player all season. But just because Tim Irabunum can carry the ball past players and he has more about him going forward, and I just look at the Everton team. When you lose and die, there just isn't there's nothing really at fullback there on either side. There's nothing from central midfield. Then you've got Jack Harrison and Lindstrom. Lindstrom, is he really playing right wing back or is he playing right mid? It concerns me. I'm not saying that isn't the strongest team as well. I think even the strongest team, you have the same problem. You have Ndiaye in there. You've just got a little bit more quality to go with the steel. But I worry today against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace will just try and run the channels. They'll try and get the ball into the box as many times as possible. And I think should be able to deal with that comfortably. How we deal with, if they do try and play in behind, do we drop deeper? But then if we're too deep, how do we get up the pitch? Is it just Beto basically stood on his own, trying to fight off 50 men and hold it up for no one? It's a bit of a worry, but I'm confident David Moyes has really thought this through and's got a plan. And I think it will be settle Palace down, try and sucker punch them, and then hold on for a 1-0.
I think you're right. I think we see Everton almost try to lull Palace asleep here. I don't think we'll try to get on the front foot. I think we're going to want the crowd at Selhurst Park to almost become a little bored, and then hopefully strike, once the enthusiasm is kind of waned. So that's my hope. It would be wonderful we could turn them over right before halftime and then hold on to a 1-0 or something like that.
Let's see if we have any good live on Sky in the UK, I believe, as well. Under the lights. Crystal Palace will be up for it. But a win here today, I think Everton is... What was the scores? Talk us through the scores. Because we're just about to make a statement that could have been a load of nonsense.
I'm sorry, say that again?
What were the scores today?
I didn't see it. I was watching a little bit of Fulham and Forest. I didn't see the other scores today. Let's see if anybody in the comments can post some of the scores from earlier today. That'd be really helpful.
I'll get them up, man. Oh my goodness.
I did see it was 1-1 for Fulham Forest. I think Arsenal won. See, this is the problem when you have 3 kids on the weekend and they're running around punching each other in the face and you're just trying to break up fights. You'll get there, Ryan. It's coming for you. You wait.
It's already quite bad now. These scores.
Let's see. We got Arsenal 2-0 over Leicester. So that's a good result for us.
I watched it. I thought Arsenal, they do nothing about them. For 80 minutes, they didn't look like scoring, and then they bring on Marino, who's a central midfielder. He puts them up front, and Arsenal turned the screw, put 2 good balls into the box, and he's finished it. But I thought, these are pretenders. How have you got a top 4 as weak as this? And one of the other teams who are fighting for top 4, Newcastle. Newcastle have been down 4-0 to Man City. Marmouche has got a hat trick. Marmouche.
Yeah, that's a surprising result. Ipswich did get a point today against Villa, so that's probably a good result for them. That
bad
brings them.
For us.
Yeah,
that's 10 men.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ipswich had 10 men.
And then West Ham, we stay above West Ham. They lost today to Brentford 1-0. So not a bad set
Yeah.
of results for us.
I would have preferred a draw. I think listen, the injuries probably do kill us off, but I think 12th place is where we should be aiming for. But Brentford and that are targetable. This is a 6-pointer. I think this game, Chad, determines kind of what our aspirations for the season are. If we beat Palace, I think we should be looking to be the best of the worst, if that makes sense. If we lose to Palace, we're 6 points behind them again. It's a 6-pointer. And then I think really you just think, well, we're at our level. We've got too many injuries. 15th, 16th, 17th is probably where it's at. I think the lowest we'll finish will be 16th. And I think the highest we can finish will probably realistically be 12th or 11th.
Oh, I would bite your hand off for 12th or 11th, but I think that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. We have the enthusiasm of just the football that we've been witnessing recently, and the hope of, hey, what's actually possible? Could we get to mid-table, versus being realistic of where we're at? We're a very thin squad. We've gotten some good results under David Moyes, but is that a new manager bounce? You almost want to say, I don't want to let the air out of this balloon, but it's almost like, should we be realistic and hope for 16th or 17th? But with the way David Moyes has this team playing it, I could see 12th. I could see 11th. We'll see if we get there.
Did you see the press conference the other day? David Moyes said we're not in Europe yet. It's clear
I
that
loved
the
it.
aspirations are much higher.
It was my favorite line. And then the interesting article today in the Echo that he has spoken with TFG, and it seems like they're aligned on the approach. So we are all in on David Moyes, and yeah.
He's been saying it. We've got a good stadium, but we need better players. The thing for me about that stadium, I'm just going to touch on it. I've been doing videos on the stadium. There's no branding anywhere. It looks so generic. I'm not trying to be miserable. I've got a season ticket. It's magnificent. The word Everton and EFC isn't anywhere to be seen, and they've got their first test match next week. And I know they want to try and get sponsorship, but surely you still have to identify as Everton. We're not just a team in blue playing in a big stadium. I don't know what's gone on there. I'm just looking at the table. Everton 15th, 24 games played. The season's been depressing, hasn't it? 6 wins, more than Wolves, Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton, but everyone else, including West Ham, who sit below us, have won more games. I think we need to win today. Palace have won 7 there, 3 points above us, so we would go above them into 12th with a win. Brentford was the other team. You could argue safety first. We need West Ham to lose, but I don't think they're a direct rival. Yeah, 11th or 12th could be the highest we could finish. I think realistically it's 12th, and today could really put a marker down for. Can't believe we're getting excited about 12th.
I know. Hey, 12th sounds great. We would have been 12th last year, so that's about right, I think. And we're a more talented team than we were last year. All right, Ryan, we want to get out of here soon so everyone can get a snack and settle in. What's your prediction today?
Heart and head. Let's go with a 1-0 Everton win. I think Everton have got enough about them defensively. I don't think that's changed, and I just think we'll have to nick a goal from a set piece, corner, free kick, counter attack, sloppy Palace play, just something going our way and hold on. I think probably the neutral will say this will be a draw, score draw, 1-1. And Palace fans will think they can beat us because of the injuries and the lack of threat that we perhaps possess. But let's go with 1-0 Charlie Alcaraz.
Love it. I was gonna predict just ugliness. I was just going to predict ugly football. So when I do that,
it's going to be
something. It's the exact. It's the exact opposite. So I'm going to say 3-3, exciting back and forth football the entire time. So why not? Why not? Let's have fun today.
We are notorious for getting it wrong. Although what I would say is one of my baby's toys. We'll end on this. Baby's toys are like a playmat. You know, the kind where they lie on their back and they got all these things dangling in their face. It's amazing. Right. One of the buttons on it, there's like a button, electrical button, and that changes the program from like doing moo and all these sort of animal sounds to doing like Mozart sounds, and like it's all very, very strange. Anyway, the light goes red, blue, and grey, no matter how many times you press it. and this is probably I've had you on strings here because it's just not that exciting. But anyway, just before the Liverpool game, I said to my missus, I said, what's the score going to be today? What I'll do is, you do realize I'm like, I said, I'm going to be.
Let's get it. Can we get a prediction?
Do you want to predict?
I want a prediction from your dad.
What do you think it's going to be?
What's going to happen today? Calling Mork. I think a 2-1 win. What do you think?
I love it. I'll bite your hand off for 2-1. That sounds great.
It sounds fair to me.
Hey, did you get the mirror up? Is the mirror looking good?
The mirror. Oh yeah, the mirror's looking right. It's spot on. It's only 0 degrees spot on. You couldn't get any more than that.
Lovely. Perfect.
Sit down.
Oh, that was my favorite part of this. That was my favorite part of the show.
He's just wandering behind me, and then he stops. That must have been so funny. What I was going to say is nowhere near as interesting as that. It was literally just tell me when to stop. I'll keep pressing the button. And it landed grey twice and then blue the third time, which to me I interpreted as a draw with 2 goals with Everton scoring last.
Wow.
2 greys and a blue.
So what does it say for today?
And then on the radio, they were talking about Tarkowski having a terrible game against Bournemouth. And I should have been thinking in my head, it's always the redemption. Who needs a goal? Who's got a point to prove? Who's got something? So today, I think Alcaraz has got a point to prove. He wants to earn a move, and Lindstrom needs a goal. So it'll be one of them two.
Fantastic.
See you later,
okay.
Chad. Enjoy.
All right, be well. Do you want to hit the button?
Yeah. Take care.
All right,
Thanks all.
Be well, mate.